material that, and it's just sealing that thing there too, because concrete's gonna keep trying to do what concrete does. It shrinks, remove. We don't want that happening, so we'll seal that in there. It's actually pink, like a pink thing. It comes blue too, but typically pink, and that's what that is, okay? And we have here our sheathing. It's pretty much, I have the same height as this because it's pretty much the same thing. It might be a different thickness, but it's pretty much the same thing, okay? Then on top of that, we get a plastic that you guys see that says Tyvek or whatever. So that plastic is the equivalent of this air and vapor barrier. Same thing, different application, different place. And you represent it with a dash line, okay? Air and vapor barrier. It's a plastic, it doesn't really have that space. When you draw it in the sections, you won't see it like that because, you know, it's what? Like, it's like the size of these. You wouldn't be able to see that, right? But we draw it as a dash, and we represent it right there between our siding and our sheathing. And the siding does that, okay? One thing I want you to keep also in mind, wood has to be, I would just give it 8 inches away from any dirt. So this right here does not look like 8 inches, and that's a no-no. So what I would say is, you gotta make sure to slope this away, and we typically put in our drawings something like this, saying 8-inch minimum. Alright, could be 10, could be 12, I don't care. So that's why in most houses you'll see a little sliver of foundation showing up. Now sometimes we don't like that look. One thing that they do is they put a bit of marble, stone, you know, all around, and you would see that covered. And sometimes they just put like a rubble looking thing. We don't see wood doing that. It's just not, it's gonna rot. It's not gonna look great. So, but this siding gonna go all the way here. This is, I think the code says 6 inches, honestly, for that, the spacing. And it's the same for any wood anywhere that's not pressure treated. This is not pressure treated. So any wood anywhere that's not pressure treated, give it that. Even if it's pressure treated, I would still try to give it 8 inches space, okay? All right, and then we get inside here, or number 1 frame, right? Or little insulation right here. Whoop, whoop. So now we know where our subfloor goes into, we know where our sheetrock goes into, we know where our sheathing goes in, everything. It just makes sense now, right? Now, if we want to finish this basement, this is what they do. They put in here little plate right there. They put their sheetrock right here, and they do this and put insulation right in there. And it's like another plate. Now, is that plate pressure treated or not? Anybody?
Pressure treated.
It is pressure treated. Why? It's sitting in top of concrete. So anything that's on top of concrete, wood on top of concrete, has got to be pressure treated. Okay? So, because I already cut this, I'm going to show you what the rest of the story is. So
it's
we're
called
gonna
PT,
finish.
right?
What is it?
PT?
PT, yeah, pressure treated. You can write pressure treated or you can write PT in front of it. So now we're going all the way up. Okay, what happened? So we're finishing this basement. We already decided we're going to finish this basement. Chances are they're going to use some sort of waterproof vinyl material in here.
Mm-hmm.
That is just a vinyl thing that can get wet. And it has its own almost like air and vapor barrier also even in here because, well, in this case, I don't need that air and vapor barrier here because I designed it to be like that. 90% of the basements that are out there that were done 100 years ago do not have these. So you will put an air and vapor barrier right here, so that the smell and the moisture doesn't just get into the space. You're spending money on this. You know, most basements they become like family rooms, so we don't want it to smell like concrete. So that's that, okay? And you know, of course, you're gonna put your little wall base in here, which is a wood, right, and whatever. So then up here, I always go backwards. I always say, okay, what gets attached to that? Well, there is a guy that's called strapping that's gonna go in the other direction and he gets attached to that. And it's 3/4 of an inch long. Whoop. I show that, right? And he's represented with an X. They're just like that, but they're just smaller. Okay. And then what else goes in here? Well, we're gonna have our sheetrock, right? Or whatever it is. It could be a suspended ceiling. That's another story. But you haven't seen that many suspended ceilings. So the sheetrock gets attached to that. just like it gets attached to this, but it gets attached to that piece, okay? And that gets finished off, and here you have, somewhere in here, you have either a double or a single plate, okay? Why a single? Well, it's not holding anything, so it's just single, and it just gets attached. This gets resolved. When you're drawing it, right now I'm not resolving it well, but it gets resolved. When you're drawing it, you'll figure out how it gets resolved, okay? And then here, we put also insulation. Okay, I'm not drawing that so great, but like that.
Between the joints.
Yeah, that gets insulated too. Okay, so you got this insulated, you got this insulated, you got this insulated. If it's a finished basement, it makes sense so that you keep each zone separate. It's probably gonna have its own heating and all that stuff. So that's that. Okay, insulated, and it's required by the code. Floors are R30.
It depends. If it's like a first floor to a
38.
second, there's
R38.
no too much cold and difference. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
They're not gonna tell you anything in between the basement and the first floor.
I know that exterior walls are R21.
21.
Yes.
Yeah. The roof I know is
49.
49.
49.
Yeah. So I think
ceiling joist 38. Or
is it
30.
Julio? You remember what it is?
I think it depends on the joist.
Now again, you see, I don't even know. We just go to the
You know
code.
why?
why?
Because
Yeah.
Just go to the code because it changes, right?
Yeah.
So it's just-
They-
Two